As a shooter, your confidence is like very, very thin. We were trying all year to get her to shoot the ball.
You lose touch pretty quickly if you're not in the gym every day.
It seems like every year there's that one point that turns the season either way. You can feel it kind of teetering.
I've went to practices with the mindset of, I'm gonna be today's Haley.
It was a close team at the start of the year, but you could just feel like now they're just like connected in this and the love that they had for each other.
You have 4 more Wednesday practices in this year, for sure, right? On the 4th Wednesday practice, March 2nd, you guys will be playing your quarterfinal match on that Saturday. And if you advance, you're playing in the finals on the Final Four on the 11th and 12th of March. That's the reality, right? So like Tori talks about that, knowing how much time you have, right? This is the part where it always gets shocking for like the 5th years, right? All of a sudden, now we're in February, the max anyone's got left is 7. So we're down to 7 weeks, right? So like this is it. This is the push, right? If we aren't successful in our quarterfinal game, we literally have 3 weeks of practice, and then we're out. It's done. You don't want to, at the end of the season, be sitting there drinking water or whatever you're drinking with your teammates, thinking about the what ifs. Nothing worse than what ifs.
The push for us is February. When we hit February, we really ask our athletes to get dialed in. We got 3 or 4 weeks left of league and then playoffs and nationals. So for a lot of teams, their season's over in 4 or 5 weeks. Our goal is to keep playing for 6 or 7 weeks to go to nationals. February is a time as a coach that we actually have to like tone it down and cut our practice from an hour 45 to hour 20 sometimes, and the players don't know why. It's because like they're just getting so dialed.
To me, this is really simulating us going to nationals, right? We might have 4 family members with us. We're gonna play VIU in the finals, and they're gonna have 400 people there.
Augustana is a really hard gym to plan because it's tiny and they always have a lot of fans and they always have a lot of loud fans, especially on senior night.
My parents are in the gym, like the only 2 fans of Lakeland really, and we were just so much noise, and yeah, it was a hostile environment to play in.
I never loved the Augustana matchup for us. It was a weird matchup. They're very small, and their 5 is kind of a 4 or 3. And I really didn't like it because I thought we were going to play them twice and then play them in playoffs because they were going to be in a playing game against Kings.
Normally, I would go into that gym like scared shitless, but I think that time we went in there and I was like, okay, I trust the 4 other people who are on the floor with me. There's nothing that they can do that's going to really like concern us.
Right, the nice thing right now is we answered every time, right? Like they would go on a run, we'd answer with an N1 or a layup, okay? As we started to push late in the quarter, when we started getting the ball at the floor, we actually had like quicker and easier shots, but we're not looking at the whole floor. We're just like passing it up. Like Bill, you had it in the high, and actually we had like Tori and someone wide open over there, and we're always looking that way. It is fun because it's screaming and yelling no matter what happens, right? Even if you guys go up 15, they're gonna be screaming and yelling and fired up. And like I said to you guys before, the target's on your back. But you guys gotta figure out if you're gonna do it playing together.
DeKoikoi from 3. That's good. Baseline jumper for Topologlu. Rattles in for 2 points. Through traffic, Cook for 2. Jaden Cook from 3. Again, Jaden Cook is back, ladies and gentlemen. Cook in the corner finds a cutting DeKoikoi. Great feed, and the Rustlers are back up by 8 here in the 4th. A statement victory for the Rustlers here in Camrose. They remain undefeated and have 1 regular season game remaining tomorrow evening in Lloydminster.
It just like goes to show like the amount of swagger that we played with all season, but in particular that game. Yeah, that was a game where I was like, there's no looking back here. Like we're taking ACAC title. Yeah, Augustana were a very good team. They weren't a bad team at all. And yeah, we beat them in their house in a hostile environment on their senior night. Like, very hard to play in environments like that, and we never looked like we were out of control of the game.
So getting the #1 seed in hosting is important. You want the best matchup possible. And coming out of COVID, our playoff structure was changed. So we had these 3-6 and 4-5 playoffs, and you had to play down within your conference till the Final Four. Usually top 4 North teams, top 4 South. You do the crossover 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. It is really important to be at home. We play very well at home, and I think it gives us an advantage. You never want to be going into someone else's house to play them at home.
And with that, playoff basketball is underway in Lloydminster, Alberta. Quick answer from the Eagles. Cook to the rim. 2 points for number 10, and it's 4-2 Wrestlers. Pass is picked off by Topologlu. She's going to go coast to coast here to Dugan, back to Topologlu, and that's good. 2 more points for the Turkish Tower. Dugan now, Topologlu driving. That's an open look for Summers. 3 points. Wrestlers back on top. Summers, Zaya Black for Summers again. She'll go right to the rim for 2. Court pressure here from the Rustlers now, and that's going to turn into a turnover. 2 points from Summers. Defense turns to offense.
You see Haley as a person, and you would have no idea that, well, you don't get that out of her on the basketball court. Like, she's not sweet on the floor. She's going out there to give you hell.
Like, I'm really just proud of how much she demanded in terms of like respect, but then also she's probably the most caring of others at the same time.
You could put together a 15-minute highlight tape of her hitting the floor on layups. Same thing defensively, diving for balls. She is a heart and soul player, and she was like that in high school. As soon as you watch her play, you're like, oh yeah, it doesn't even matter. She just worked so hard. This kid's gonna be fine.
Just that's what sports brings out in people, and just because you can be the most nice person off the floor, that's not who you are when it comes to sport. And yeah, Haley is just like, oh man, she'll take anyone on. She's just so fun to watch.
Once again, she has 14 points here in the first half as the Rustlers lead 30-18.
Okay, so we're playing a small lineup on man defensively. Okay, so that means we all got to be really active and move our feet. Okay, we force them to take some tough shots. We got to make sure we're coming to the ball, right?
Do you want me helping when I'm on 5, or do you just
5 shooter, right? So know where the shooters are on the floor. The biggest thing is staying with our checks and keeping that penetration out of the middle, okay? Because this is our funky lineup, okay? So we are good when we pressure and get out and run here, okay? We have to be composed and the ball's got to move side to side. Sarah, nice drive, okay? We had a nice take. Alana, that was a good take as well, right? As soon as we don't get the rebound, though, we're sprinting back on defense, okay? There's no standing around watching it. We got to get our asses.
Dugan up top, guarded by Jamie Hunt.
Oh no, Dugan rolling something. That is not a good sign. Dugan tweaking something. Not a good sign for the Rustlers. And a bit of a hush in the building.
My
Shot airballed. 69-54. And the defending champs continue their undefeated season. And we'll have to wait and see just how bad that ankle injury is for Tori Dugan. With the weight that she's putting on it, it looks like the Rustlers may have survived quite a scare.
guys, good job. Way to grind it out.
What'd you do, just roll it or what? Yeah. Just want to change direction.
That's how all these games are gonna be, guys. Like, whoever wants to win more is gonna win more.
Bill, way to end the game off on a high hand.
Yeah, that.
Did we only have
My 2 playoffs that I missed the league, me, God, and Grim. God was like, no.
It was our first one.
Well, yeah, going into state that whole week, I was nursing an ankle injury. I didn't practice at all because my ankle felt awful and it was stiff. I felt like there was no movement to it.
A regular athlete wouldn't have played. her and Haley are the only two athletes that I know that would play through that type of shit. Haley, the first year we won, her ankle was the size of my thigh. And she's like, it's okay, I'll just play. And she's limping around. Tori, same thing, limping around, but she hurt her ankle bad, so that was a concern.
The Say Trojans, upstart from the South Division, are taking on the Lakeland Rustlers. Semifinal number 1 is underway.
Knew that they're a young team with a couple of older players. Also had a big addition to their team in the second half, UFC transfer, and yeah, very well coached team. And we knew that they were going to be really, really tough.
They kind of punched us in the mouth and we couldn't convert in the first half.
Didn't really stick to the scout on Varga. Like, she basically got left-hand drives and stuff, and we knew that she was pretty creative. So that was hard, and we just couldn't score the ball. I think the score at halftime was like 25-24 or something. Like, it was a really low-scoring game.
I was never worried about it, but it was ugly, and that wasn't the way that we wanted to play. It was definitely Sate's style. Now, Sate did play very well.
I was trying to do a little bit too much. I was trying to just take the game on too much instead of just letting it, relaxing and letting it come to me. I remember being a little bit antsy at times.
Three-quarter fall this game. Nice effort from Dugan. And she's gonna score 2 points. What an effort. The steal and the score for Tori Dugan. Can't find a cutting teammate there. Now she gets the ball a little bit inside, off glass. What a find from Dugan. And that's Coach Parmar not happy with the non-call there. Three-pointer for Jaden Cook. Huge basket, and we're tied at 20.
A lot of players have the ability to just flick the switch. She's always playing hard, but we saw it in almost every game this year. If it was ever close, she's just we're not losing, and everyone else kind of looks at her.
We were fortunate enough that she was gonna do that, and we're gonna be like, okay, well, we're coming with you, right? We trust you. We're gonna do what you need us to do.
Her making play after play after play, it's just nope, we're winning. This ends now, and just took over the game.
Jade had a bit of her mojo back from earlier in the semester, so I'm like, now we're finding her, we're finding Bill. She's taking takes that I wouldn't have expected her to take a couple years ago, but is having great takes and fancy finishes, and she's putting pressure on people in the front court. She's gonna be the crazy, she's gonna be the game changer.
And once again, she only made 2 of the shots, but then she assisted on the next 2 and created a turnover and got the ball going. She has that ability. It's uncanny, and I think her feel for the game this year just was at another level, to be honest. We had just started building a lead.
I think I was setting a screen at the top of the key for her.
I can remember just thinking oh shit, yeah, this isn't good.
Oh no, that's gonna hurt. Looks like Jaden Cook's down. Ooh, and she looks like she at least banged something. That is not good if you're the Rustlers. Jaden Cook on the floor, and the medical staff is out.
You just feel for the athlete at that point. There's an athlete that struggled all year, and then this happens. Right away, I knew it was ACL. I think everyone was hopeful that it wasn't, including herself.
I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. That's just the worst news any person can hear.
Did you feel any thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
A lot of thoughts going through my head, and considering I was thinking that many thoughts, I was okay, where's my pain, So there was so much happening, but I did know that it was bad.
Sorry. We'll be good. We'll get it for you.
That's the tough thing about serious injuries is as a coach, you really can't be emotional because you want to be emotional. And then you look like the asshole because you're not emotional and you're trying to keep your team composed. And in my head, I feel so awful for Jade. I know she's probably done for the year. Then I'm we got to win this game.
A lot of it was a bit of a no in the back of our head, but a no that you couldn't worry about it yet. And that just had to be something that you worried about later, which was so painful and should have been such a vibe killer, and maybe is probably what any other team is this is our break, this is what we need. That's not our team.
Hey, we going in the Nanaimo!
And put it in the win column and celebrate, Lakeland fans. Your Rustlers women's basketball team is going back to the national championship, or should I say finally going after being denied in 2020.
I've said this before, not only am I super pumped for you guys, but this is like a 2-year unfinished journey for us, for some players that aren't here and some players that are here, okay? It's not fucking easy getting to a national championship, and the fact that you guys are getting to go to a second one in 2 or 3 consecutive years, one didn't happen, this one's happening, we're going no matter what. But here's the deal, we didn't host this bitch to lose in the finals, right? We're going to win it tomorrow, so Jade's gonna be out. It's gonna fuck our chances for nationals.
Think so?
She's just like, just a shooter, right? Like, and she's composed and she's older.
About the big 3 right before that.
Yeah, like literally you could see her confidence was like building there. Yeah, it's not great. It just hurts our depth too, right?
Oh no, 100%.
Some of you will never get a chance to play in a championship game again. Hopefully you do next year, to be honest. But at home is like the most special thing. So regardless what happens tonight, you guys got to enjoy this, right? You get your last game of the year, ACAC at home. There's literally no pressure. You got 3 more games. You're going to nationals automatically, right? So you just get to finish this on your home court. So tonight is about us. Think about it this way. We're going to win 4 quarters. We're going to win the game tonight. It's against the opponent we know. We know the personnel. You guys all know the personnel, right? It's about what we do. But this is about building for the next 3 games, right? We win this, we got 2 weeks, and then we go to nationals.
It's been a long journey for this Lakeland squad as they dealt with the disappointment of a season and a championship loss due to a pandemic. After an undefeated 2021-2022 campaign, they have a shot at completing history in the ACAC and for Lakeland College.
Loved the matchup against Nate every game this year, even though they were quite confident they were playing at a very high level. So Alana had a fabulous game, made up for us not having Jaden, but the way that she flew in for rebounds, she really caused problems for them.
Start to finish was just so fun. I mean, that was the best atmosphere I have ever played a game in my life.
You know, they have some size, they can challenge Bill's shot a little bit at the 5 spot, but they didn't really have the answer at the 4 spot, and that was one of those games.
Finds Olsen plus the harm. Alana Olsen. And great effort. Olsen plus the foul again. Huge possession. Great start again for the second year for Maidstone.
She's getting a chance to work and fill an additional role and try to help out however she can with us not having Jade out there and everything too, which I think was a bit of the which was a good kick in the butt for her, a good whatever it was to get out there and start working hard and want to go do that for her teammates too.
But Garda's filled the backup big nicely. Oh no, that's not a good sign. Dugan's done her ankle in. That was a worry before the game for Dugan. And now she might be out for the rest of this gold medal contest. This really changes the math for both teams because, 10-point lead, that can disappear quickly. And without the main ball handler on for Lakeland, running the offense is going to be hard for this team.
The only thought in my head was I'm not going to be able to get back in the game. I think I've broken it here. I thought I was done. And I just couldn't show my team and the crowd that emotion that I obviously walked out of the gym.
Listen, you could have cut that leg off. She was still going to play that game. It didn't matter. Her last home game, winning a championship.
Ideally, nothing was going to stop me from playing. And it just a switch flipped in my head. And I was like, nah, when do you ever get to represent your school in front of your home crowd in an ACAC championship match? Again, adrenaline took over, the fire in my belly just started rumbling, and got out there and finished the game off and did whatever I had to do, and my ankle was going to be something to deal with after the game.
Oh, look, just like that, she is back on the floor. You can tell she's a tough player. So again, Dugan playing major minutes on an injured ankle. Long two, Topologlu, good. Bit of a standstill here offensively. And Summers inside, nice ball movement, finished by Topologlu. Summers trying to break away, but Johnson recovering. Nice work by Johnson. Topologlu gets the fadeaway to roll. That's 8 points here in the first half. And honestly, a great half of basketball from the home team. Lakeland leads by 22 at the half.
With every rebound, I was like, that's mine, like, let's go. Like, it was just, like, excited. And I think the thing in the back of my mind was, like, if you win this game, like, you get to celebrate with your team. You get to have this at home.
I was part of the 2015-16 squad that hosted provincials here, and we lost the semi-final in front of our home crowd. To do a whole 360 and to come full circle and get to represent my school in front of our home fans, the community, and be able to win a gold medal in my last year, like, I don't think the script could have been written any better from an ACAC championships perspective.
The veteran players on the Rustlers gathering at the end of the bench with 1:30 remaining in the game. And Montalban trying to slow things.
Good job.
Dang, got some sweat on my lips.
About time you sweated.
The crowd on their feet as the seconds count away. A magical season for the Lakeland Rustlers will continue on in 2 weeks in British Columbia. Your 2022 conference champions are the Lakeland Rustlers.
Standing at the edge of the court watching the girls, I'm seeing years and years of hard work kind of paying off, right? I think when you're in that moment, luckily enough, I've got to experience that as an athlete. As a coach, it's totally different. It's more like a proud mama duck, and those are your ducklings that are like learning how to fly. It's just, you're so happy for them.
It's where we wanted to be doing and wanted to be going a couple of years ago for some of us that have been working for that now for 2 years, and the chip on your shoulder and the whatever to get back to this point and stuff like that. It just felt like all like everything coming together so well at the same time of, and just kind of forgetting about all the other like nicks and problems and everything like that and everything in that regard, and Jade and what's going to happen next year and all those other things. Is just kind of a nice, like, you get rid of your worries. You're just so happy for everybody, and to be able to do that all together.
People don't realize how special that moment is, and that so many people do not get to have that moment, and we got to have it and share it in front of our community and school, our fans. Like,
best feeling I've ever had in a basketball game. Just knowing that I could play so comfortably with this team, and I got to do that in front of a hometown crowd, knowing how important it was for us to like win that game was just, it was the best feeling ever.
I want you guys to really enjoy this moment. Not often you get this moment, not often you get it on your home floor. We're gonna do interviews, talk to the people you know, and then we're cutting this fucking mesh down.
Stage is set. The host team, the Vancouver Island Mariners, taking on the undefeated Lakeland Rustlers.
yeah, me being overrated. They've never heard of the pro team that I'm going to play for.
It was a close game, and they were all like ready to like lose this game.
I'll be disappointed about this for a long time.
CCAA gold medal was never going to happen anymore.